Hey there, everybody. This is White Panther coming to you from Tucson, Arizona, with episode 15 of Volume 1 of our video series, Inside the Panther's Lair. Tonight we'll be talking about a song called Take My Love. Lots of songwriters, most songwriters I would assume, tend to write from real-life experiences, something that they've actually felt and experienced and gone through in their life. Well, that's not always the case. Sometimes something will put an idea in your head or just get you thinking about something, and those of us who have a creative bone can sometimes imagine ourselves in situations that aren't necessarily, real life, but and imagine how it would affect us and how we would feel should we be in that situation. This happens to be one such song. We were getting ready for work. Boy, that was easy for me to say. We were getting ready for work one morning, and baby girl had one foot out the door, and I was still half a zombie. This should come as no great surprise, but White Panther is not a morning person. Anyway, baby girl asked me if I needed anything, and gave me a kiss as she was walking out the door, and I just told her, baby girl, just take my love with you when you leave. And she walked out, and the door closed, and I continued to, in my trance-like state, to get myself ready to head out the door for work. And that phrase, just take my love when you leave, just kept bouncing around and rattling around in this empty skull of mine. And I just started thinking, my goodness, whatever would I do if this amazing woman ever had to leave? And I did let it get the better of me. And then, as I tend to do when I'm deeply involved in something, just let it take on a life of its own. And sure enough, the words started to take form, and then the melody formed behind it. It was something that I wanted to be very minimal in arranging when I put down in the studio. We almost went 100% with just an acoustic guitar on this. That there was something that didn't quite feel, for lack of a better word, finished when we were laying it down. And I thought that maybe we could try messing around with the piano and see what happens. For those of you with particularly perceptive ears, when you do listen to the piano and listen to actually the entire song, something is probably not quite going to sit right in your ear. I really wish I could make up some of the stories that I'm giving you behind these songs, but this is actually what happened. We laid down the guitar, and again, Steve and I were bouncing around the idea of maybe putting some piano behind a few small pieces of the song. And Steve went in and sat down at the piano, and we set up mics on both sides so we get a good stereo sound out of it. And after he recorded a couple of pieces, we went back into the engineering booth and we're playing, and for some reason the guitar and the piano just sounded so wrong together. And neither one of us could figure it out. We listened to the guitar track, and the guitar was absolutely fine. And we listened to the piano, and it was absolutely fine. And then we listened to them together, and good Lord, something was just way, way off. Probably won't show my age, even though this show has probably been seen in syndication, God knows how long. But it was an episode of Happy Days, for those of you who have watched the show, where the guys had a band, and they were trying to figure out why the band just left a little something to be desired. And each member of the band played their own part, and each one of them sounded fantastic. And then they played together, and it was just lifeless. And Fonzie said, "You guys, it's kind of like ketchup and ice cream. You love ketchup, you love ice cream, but somehow putting them together just not quite right." paraphrasing, but you get the basic idea. Well, it wasn't until Steve had the brilliant idea of trying to see whether or not maybe the guitar, he had forgotten to tune the guitar, or the guitar had slipped out of tune, or what have you. Well, the guitar was right on the mark. And then I said, just for kicks and giggles, is it possible the piano's out of whack? And sure enough, they had recently had someone in to tune the piano in the studio, who, and I will not mention names, it's not my place, but this particular individual insisted they had perfect pitch and that their ears were right on the mark. Well, apparently their ears are a little off the mark because the piano tuning was just all over the place. So what Steve ultimately wound up doing, and I thought this was just brilliant, was he obviously didn't have the ability to retune the piano right then and there on the spot. So what he actually did was he retuned the guitar. So the guitar is actually out of tune, but it's in tune with the piano. So when you're listening to the music, it gives you a slightly uneasy feel. It's not just the mood, it's not just the tone of the lyrics, but yeah, musically it's a little bit off. And you add my less than perfect vocals, no matter how hard we tried tweaking them back then. Multiple takes, slicing them together like I've told you I've done in a few of the other songs there. But overall, when you listen to the whole song and take it all in, even with its imperfections, it's one of my background favorites. Now, if someone would ask me, what's your favorite song? I doubt this one would ever float to the top of the list. But if I'm going through a random playlist of the songs that I've recorded and this one comes up, it's very rare that I'll skip over it. So that's got to say something about it. So with the imperfections in the tuning of the piano, the imperfections in the guitar, the imperfections in my vocals, I think it's only fitting because the thought of the actual scenario that I was singing about, losing this amazing woman that has come into my life, is so far from perfect. So I guess the combination of imperfections makes this one pretty close to perfect, at least for me. Anyway, hope you enjoy the song. Once again, this is White Panther telling you to have air to have. See, I even get choked up talking about the story behind the song. Let's try that again. This is White Panther telling you to keep music in your hearts. And as always, may God bless y'all.
Yes, there are times when life can get you down, and the doubts in your head, they go round and round. But don't you think that I cannot see the spark Here I'll remain and wait for you, even though I know you're leaving. It's something you cannot postpone. My words fail me now. There's no reason or rhyme. Keep me in your heart, this I beg you, my dear. Low mine will ache from today until the time I see you come back and choose to remain with me right here. Yes, there are times when life can get you down, and the doubts in your head, they go round and round. But